Good afternoon. It is Sunday, December 18th, 2022. Sunday, December 18th, 2022. I've been gone for a while because I was sort of demonetized, but now I'm back and I've got to, I got a whole lot of stuff out there, but through Anchor. So now I have to do, now I'm just going to do this last one that I did on Anchor earlier today and put it here on YouTube. So that way when I go back with tomorrow's subjects or next week's, whenever next week, because Monday is the brand new work week. Everybody will technically be caught up. So this article came out on the 16th of this month on pbs.org. Associated Press Joshua Goodman and Associated Press Patrick Whittle wrote this. It's entitled "The U.S. Poised to Toughen Ban on Lucrative Shark Fin Trade." And as soon as I saw that, I thought that this was an excellent article to bring up. I've been doing a lot of political stuff concerning the politicians and the elections and all this good stuff, and then certain subjects like immigration and all that. And I just have not been shying away from anything else, for anything else until now. Now that I see this, now that I see a good reason. So here we go. Miami. The U.S. is poised to ban the lucrative trade in shark fins, a move conservationists hope will help protect millions of sharks that are butchered every year to satisfy the demand in China and other parts of Asia. Now I'm going to be jumping back and forth on this because it's quite a lot to cover, despite the fact that the article is actually very small. But however, I gotta get all this out. I gotta get this out of my system. The practice of shark finning, whereby sharks are caught for their fins and their carcasses and then dumped back into the ocean, has been banned in the U.S. waters for decades. But the U.S. remains a major hub for the brisk trade, whereas 73 million fins are sliced off of sharks around the world each year. The House and the Senate passed identical versions of the proposed ban as part of a broader defense spending bill that President Biden is expected to sign into law. Once he does, it will be illegal for Americans to buy, sell, transport, or even possess foreign caught fins, something ocean conservation activists have long sought. Now, bear in mind, while I start to jump back and forth, bear in mind, this ban prevents the waste of sharks, not so much the fishing of them. And until it's still the major hub for the trade, and so there's really no worries to actually be concerned over. And I got to point that out right here and now because of the opposition that has to speak up. Okay, back to the article. Every year, American port inspectors seize thousands of dried foreign-caught shark fins in undeclared shipments heading to China and other parts of Asia, where shark fin soup is a delicacy. Okay? Keyword being seized. Okay? If it's illegal, it's going to get caught. The illegal catches is the main focus here. Not so much going after any legitimate business. That's what this ban is particularly about. Catching the illegal activity of illegal fishing, stripping an animal of its most valuable part, and then dumping the body back into the waters, which is just plain wrong. But back to the article. Gib Brogan, campaign director with the Ocean Conservation Group, Oceana. Gib Brogan says That will take them out of the supply chain, and we expect it to disrupt the global fin market. Sorry for the stumblings. And that's good. We need some kind of stumbling to disrupt the global fin market, particularly the illegal ones. But some scientists, back to the article, but some scientists who study shark fisheries aren't so certain. They believe the legislation will have little impact on the trade in shark fins and will only serve to shut down a regulated American fishery for shark meat and other legal products. Okay, once again, this ban is to stop the illegal fisheries, not the legitimate businesses. The illegal fisheries. Thousands of dried foreign caught shark fins in undeclared shipments. Those are some very important things to remember, to bear in mind as this goes on, regardless of the skepticism. So the scientists who study these, apparently they say that it's not worth a damn. And we'll get to the skeptics real quick. Let me just go back to this article. However, conservationists say that the U.S. must act forcefully to encourage other countries to take similar steps, much in the way the U.S. ban on the ivory trade has been pivotal in protecting African elephants. The fin ban, first floated in 2017 by a bipartisan group of lawmakers, is similar to the action already taken in Canada. So these restrictions work. These restrictions work no differently than it was when it was ivory, that was the main thing that was getting taken illegally. So these bans and restrictions and these things put into legislation actually works. It's been started up as far back as 2017, and it's very similar to the stuff that's already being done in another country like Canada. Okay? That's another thing to bear in mind, regardless of what scientists and all these skeptics that I'm going to be coming to are going to be saying. But I first got to get to this next paragraph. Overfishing has led to a 71% decline in shark species since the 1970s. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, a Switzerland-based group that tracks wildlife populations, estimates that more than a third of the world's 500 plus shark species are threatened with extinction. That's a lot. At an international wildlife conference in Panama last month, governments from around the world extended trade restrictions to more than 90 shark species that are increasingly being hunted for not only their fins, but also their meat, some of which ends up in pet food. Now, governments are regulating, it's only 90 of the 500 plus sharks, species out of the industry. The focus is on 90 sharks that are constantly being hunted. Those 90 in particular. But again, it's out of 500 plus shark species. So there's really no threats to business in this industry. And I bring that up because business non-believers in how in this ban and victim mentality is what's going to be expressed in this in the next segment here that I'm gonna bring up two dudes here, starting with Robert Huerta, senior scientist emeritus at Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida. Okay, Robert Huerta, the senior scientist emeritus, says U.S. shark fisheries, although small, are well managed, and removing the country from the fin trade could encourage more exploitation of sharks in parts of the world where it's less sustainable. Okay, this guy is missing the point to some certain degree or another, and is just veered to a left curve concerning the subject of banning illegal shark fin trade. Okay? The illegal fishing is put to a stop also on our side of the world, which means there'll be plenty of sharks to actually capture legally and profit off of. Moving on to quoting the senior scientist emeritus of Mote Marine Laboratory, Robert Huerter. It's putting the wrong people out of the fishery, creating opportunities for those that are doing it the wrong way to have more market share. People think this is going to solve the problems. It is not. Okay, that entire statement right there is about as stupid as the gun regulation won't stop the killer from shooting people anyway saying. Okay? You know, this whole biswax where if we make illegal fishing illegal, it's going to put all the wrong people to still fish illegally and restrict honest workers, honest fishers from fishing. Okay? That's just dumb. Okay? It's about as dumb as that gun regulation statement. You know? Plus, as I've stated in the very beginning of this segment, you know, the practice of finning, you know, has been banned for decades now. It's already been banned. This whole sharks caught for their fins and their carcasses and then dumped back into the ocean. Okay, so for this guy to say it's putting the wrong people out of the fishery, you know, no, it's putting out the people that are doing illegal fishing out of the fishery, you know. Plus, it's still a major hub for the trade. You know, 73 million around the world each year, and the U.S. does the most of it. So to stop the illegal version of it is not really putting the wrong people in the fishery industry. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to say that it doesn't solve the problems and that it's going to put all the wrong people out of fishery and all the wrong people that's in it to exploit the sharks. I don't know what that means, but moving on to this other guy, Kevin Wark, a shark fisherman based in New Jersey, says the new rules have the potential to put fishermen out of business. Well, illegal fishermen, sure. And this guy carries on saying, I understand there might be a lot of illegal fishing in the South China Sea and around the world. And there might be a couple of incidences in the U.S. But there's a lot of hard-working, honest guys here. Okay. For the record, hard-working, honest guys that are fishermen in the fisherman business have nothing to do with the illegal business, the illegal fishing. Remember, it's thousands of fins per year in undetermined shipments, okay? Undeclared shipments. Thousands of dried foreign caught shark fins in undeclared shipments. Okay? The American port inspectors are seizing these undeclared shipments. Now, if there's an honest worker out there, then he or she is not making undeclared shipments. Every shipment is being legally recorded and declared. Okay? So this guy with this victim mentality, it's not going to work. It can't work because I understand there's a lot of it going on over there in China and different parts of the world, and maybe a couple of incidences in the U.S. You know, there's more than a couple here in the U.S. You know, the focus right now is just in Florida. You know, but there's more than likely quite a few all across the U.S. And for this guy, this fisherman based in New Jersey, for him to speculate that, as maybe it might be true, okay, he's just kicked out a solid leg to stand on. Okay, this says that he doesn't understand the illegal business at all and what's going on at all. This is a victim mentality just to be in opposition of the ban that's going to be signed into law by the current president, who's a Democrat. I don't care if this guy's a Democrat or not. He's made it very clear that he's got an opposition mentality towards our president, a current president, who's signing this ban into law. Why? Not sure. But my best guess is that he's actually making money with undeclared shipments. And that's the major thing there. He's saying, oh, crime is over there, not over here. And this is being harsh on the potential to put fishermen out of business, good, wholesome, honest working fishermen. So the ban shouldn't be in effect. Okay, that there says that he's making undeclared shipments. Okay, that's a big giveaway. He either just doesn't get it, or he's a part of the problems that is occurring right now. So, coming up to an end, note, while not all sharks are killed just for their fins, none of the other shark's parts, such as its meat, jaws, or skin, can compete with fins in terms of value. Depending on the type of shark, a single pound of shark fins can fetch hundreds of dollars, making it one of the priciest seafood products by weight. And going by that one very simple fact, it reverts me to go back to telling all of you how I understand these things. How can people just slaughter animals? How can people just do this? How can people just do that? One rule of thumb: it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Every company that is in opposition to the ban is somebody that doesn't want to stop making hundreds of dollars per pound, especially by way of undeclared shipments. Okay? Why? Because that's the driving force that makes anybody not declare shipments in the fishing industry. Money. Money is what it is. Belief, this senior scientist emeritus at Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida, the very location that this place is talking about, Florida. This is what's going on. He believes it's okay to go against the ban. Why? My best guess is in opposition of the current Democratic president, who's going to sign the ban into legislation. Okay? Because it can't be about the money. I'll bet you $1 million. I'll bet you $1 million that Huerta isn't getting a single share of it. He's doing this because he believes opposing the current administration is the right thing to do. Now, this guy, Kevin Wark, a shark fisherman based in New Jersey, that guy is more than likely doing it for the money. He's more than likely against this ban for the money because he's the one that's doing undeclared shipments, as opposed to this senior scientist, emeritus. He's not getting a red cent, but he's one of the fools that believes that it's for the best to oppose the ban. And that's why he is here speaking out. You know, it could encourage more exploitations of sharks. Okay. Also, removing the country from the fin trade is bad. Okay. The fin trade is not being removed out of the U.S. and the U.S. is not removing the fin trade, removing itself out of the fin trade. Okay? Remember, this stuff has been done. This ban and these restrictions have been done before, you know, like with the ivory trade. But I gotta be honest, everybody's forgetting that this kind of regulation has been done on shrimp also, and even crab, as well as different types of fishes. This stuff has been around for a good while, you know, and the bans come with good timing like climate changes and the effects of it, say hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes. Speaking of earthquakes, not to mention, but just as important, the industrial disasters caused by man, oil spills, and earthquake. Also knocked over a power plant over in Fukushima, Japan, spreading nothing but radiation all throughout the waters, you know, endangering aquatic wildlife over there. Oil spills. We had an oil drill that broke and just released a whole crap load of oil out into our Gulf of Mexico waters, and it destroyed almost all of the aquatic life there, from Texas to Louisiana into Mississippi. I think I can't remember the exact states and the exact areas, but it was just this one busted drill that had popped open a well of oil that spewed out into the Gulf, which at first looked like manageable, but after a while it just spread throughout a couple of states, and it was killing a lot of life there. Okay, oil spills, power plants, stuff done by the industrialization in the aquatic life in aquatic areas, and that's aside from the natural disasters that occur. Okay, these bans to restrict us from killing and slaughtering everything to the point of almost extinction is what's saving us and saving those aquatic wildlife, especially when we're reduced down to a limit, and the natural disasters and economic or industrial disasters take away some of the lives that are left over of those aquatic animals that we make money off of. Okay, we're still making money off of shark fins. It's just the illegal fishing of undeclared shipments. That's what's being put to a stop here. All in all, the business is never going to go away. So the ban on illegal fishing leads to that dirty word that even reporters don't want to say: regulation. Regulations in civil and corporate matters will follow, one problem at a time, of course. But once this ban goes into law, you're going to see civil rights activists speak up some more again, and particularly against corporations and industries that are a part of this fishing industry, this part of the fishing industry, opposing the ban and all these regulations that keep them from just capturing sharks, gutting them, and then throwing their carcasses back into the water to the point to where it's nearly extinct. So But yeah, I mean, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Corporations are complaining up the wazoo, and the fools that believe are joining them in being fuming mad, which is really all that they can do, because it's obvious they're not getting any pay from these fishing industries. Hundreds of thousands, hundreds of dollars for a single pound of fish, of shark fins. Okay, just their fin alone. Hundreds of dollars. You honestly think the industry is actually sharing it with these people that are backing them up? No. They're making them believe that if they don't stand with them, the current administration will win. It's got nothing to do with them receiving a check. It's all of them just being fools to believe that opposing the current president is the right thing to do. You see what I'm going? You see it, right? You see the hustle, right? This whole garbage here, this business is never going away, people. As sure as even on occasion I order shark fin for soup. But I don't do it all the time, and I sure as hell am not going to be doing it at all if I'm finding out up to 73 million sharks are being slaughtered just for their fins, and they're raking in hundreds of dollars per pound. I'm not going to join into that business. I'm not going to support them. Screw them. Especially because I'm not getting a paycheck. Every single one of them is not getting a paycheck. They're fools that are following. That's all that it is. And I hate to sound negative, but this is very necessary, okay? It's very necessary. The people have got to stop following blindly as to what's going on. Take a look at your pocketbook. Take a look at your bank statements. Where in the world does it say, good job, here's your check? It doesn't. They have no intention of sharing anything with you. And they have every intention of just jacking prices all around. So, that's the long and the short of it. I want to thank all of y'all for paying attention. I came back. I am back. And I'm going to be jumping on here just as many times as I'm going to be doing it on Anchor, the audio only segment. And sometimes this one will get a statement and the audio only will not. Other times the audio only will get a statement, and sometimes YouTube will not. And it's basically because of the simple fact that we all know not every news needs to be repeated twice, but I wanted to do this one twice because I already jumped on the audio only, and I just recently found out that I'm back on YouTube. I'm no longer restricted on YouTube. I wanted to come back and do this twice because of the simple fact that one, it's got to do with something that I love as a Texan. I'm a fisherman. I love to fish, and I have no problems with the regulations in catching fish, cooking them, or just plain catch and release. Okay, which is usually what you do anyway after you reached your numerous limit, your limit of catching whatever fish, crawdad, crab, lobster, and whatever else. After you've caught your limit is in accordance to state law, the rest will be catch and release, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I had to speak up about this because of that. And I also had to speak up about this because it's completely different from the norm. I'm normally talking about immigration, the economy, Biden and all the haters of Biden. I'm talking about, fraudulent bank stuff and all this other crap, But this is a nice different change of pace, a different subject altogether, with just a little bit of relation to Texas, by way of this Texas fisherman love to be a fisherman. And and etc. You know, I just wanted to share that out there. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.